remember to mute.
Welcome to the Monday Motivation with Eric and Friends podcast with your host, Eric F. King, featuring world-class speakers, coaches, and consultants. Join us every Monday as we dive into empowering conversations that motivate, inspire, and educate entrepreneurs. Kickstart your week with valuable insights that help you not just survive, but thrive. This is your go-to podcast to start your week strong and live your best life. Let's make Mondays the fuel for your success journey.
All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to Motivational Mondays with me, Eric F. King, and my incredible experts. Today we have Leah Garcia and Annie Asung here with me, and we are super excited. You know, there are, I think, 16 days left in the year, and we're going to finish strong, and we are excited about the new year. And because of that, we chose a topic that everybody can use right now, which is 2026 game plan. What is your 2026 game plan? Setting goals that stick. All right. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So, by the way, share this with some people. Share this link with some people so they can get on and let us know where you're zooming in from today. Just put in the chat. Good morning, good afternoon from wherever you are. Okay. All right. So as we get started, I'm going to send it out to my good friend up in California to kick it off, where it is 4:03 in the morning. Wow. How many of you can get up at 4:03 in the morning to share your knowledge and expertise? Well, she does it consistently, not because she has to, but because she wants to. She wants to help people. All right. She is called the Dynasty Builder, and you'll hear why in a second. She is the Dynasty Builder. She's helping people all over the country, all over the world. If you want to make money, invest money, all things money, you look to Leah Garcia. And she is also a black belt in karate and martial arts, right? 3rd degree, which means she is a disciplined person. She knows how to work hard. She knows how to set goals, right? You can't get to black belt without setting goals. We know that for sure. All right. So without further ado, I want to bring up to the stage none other than Leah Garcia. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Erica, for the collaboration. Well, I am super excited. Listen, how do we set goals that stick? And I'm going to ask you, how can we set money goals that stick? If you want to have a better outcome in 2026, we got to be stickier with our money. We've already had generational poverty. It is time for us to flip the script into generational prosperity. And every single one of you, to a person, you're here because you're a champion, and you can absolutely do that in 2026. It's our year, right? We've thriving in 2025, and now we're going to get in the mix in 2026. So I'm going to share with you 3 golden nuggets, 3 money golden nuggets that if you implement them will absolutely change your 2026. Let's move that money, right? So number one, first golden nugget is I want you to clean your money closet. I know we don't like to do this. Who likes to clean their closet? Nobody. But we have to get rid of that money clutter. If we go into our closet and there are things thrown everywhere, we can't find anything. We don't know where anything is. So we got to clean our money closet. Some people call it a budget. I call it a spending plan. If you contract your money and you start to see clearly where your money is, then you have a clearer vision and things will start to magically come towards you. It's not magic, it's math. It is being clear and crystal clear, and we know where the debts are. We know where the investments are. We know how much we owe in debts. That's just the way it works. And if you want some help, type a 6 in the chat and I'll send you my Wall of Wealth financial plan money tracker, because I don't believe in budgets. Let's throw those away. Those are outdated, right? We're going to get to the next level. Number 2, reverse engineer the end results. And what I mean by that is, how much money do you want to have saved and invested in 2026? Do you want to get your first $1,000, your first $5,000, your first $10,000? Well, reverse engineer that. How much money does that mean you need to put aside every month, maybe every week? If you want to have $5,000 at the end of 2026, then that's $416 a month. And you can break it down to the week. You can break it down to the day. And then it becomes achievable. And if you get off track for one little month, that's okay. Forgive yourself. Start again in the next month and start, and then you can achieve it, right? We can't keep beating ourselves up for the things that we didn't do. We don't get achievement by punishing ourselves. We get it through rewards, right? We get it through rewards and giving ourselves credit. Number 3, write down your money story. This is so gold. I want you to put a star. I want you to highlight this. I want you to rewind and listen to this again. This is how important it is. We've already had the poverty story. We've already had the story that whatever that financial was in 2025, now you're going to rewrite the script. What happens? There's something magical when you put pen to paper. This is not ChatGTP. This is not doing it in the audio. I love that. I use that a lot. But when it comes to your money story, we have to put the pen to paper. And if you start to do that, you do it every month, you do it every week. Even if you did it every day, write down a paragraph of what that looks like. What do you want to achieve? How much money do you want to invest? What do you want to do differently in 2026 with your money? And then you will be dazzled and amazed to see what starts to attract to you. I don't know how to explain how this works. It's your super mind. Jim Quick calls it our super mind. Our subconscious mind will start to help you see opportunities everywhere. So here's the thing. I'm going to land it here. I want you to write down one thing. What is the one difference that you're going to make in 2026? What's that one thing that you're going to do? Are you going to finally deal with that student loan? Are you going to finally deal with that credit card debt? Are you going to finally make a plan to become financially free? Because 2026 doesn't need another dreamer. We need another planner that executes. So with that, I'll hand it back to you, Mr. Eric.
All right, all right. What a great way to kick off this morning. Thank you so much, Leah. That was powerful, powerful golden nuggets. All right, so we're gonna keep it moving. I see a lot of people on, but you haven't said hello yet. So in the chat, I want everybody to say good morning or good afternoon and tell us where you're zooming in from, and I'm gonna shout you out in a few minutes. All right, so let's keep on going. And by the way, if you have any questions, this is the time to ask. You don't want to go through the whole of 2026 and say, hey, I should have asked this question. Maybe I would have known what to do, right? You have the chance now. Ask a question about goal setting. Just put in the chat the word question and then type out your question, all right? So now we're going to go all the way from California. We're going to London, England to hear from our next speaker, who is one of the best in the world at what he does. If you never heard of him, then today's your lucky day, because you're going to hear from a gentleman who is helping people with marketing all over the world, especially on LinkedIn. He's helped me. He's helped countless others. He's helping people write books. I mean, it's just a pleasure to have him on this call. So without further ado, I'm going to bring up the fame expert himself, Enyi Osong. The floor is yours.
Hopefully I'm blushing. Eric, I always love your introductions, my friend. Thank you so much for your kind words. Now, right back at you. I'll say that, right? Now, Queen Leah just dropped some gems, which would say, of course, I've got some more things to add, but I think, many of the things you said I will come back to for sure. I think maybe my favorite one, Queen Leah, is drop the optimism. Sorry, my friends. I hate to give you bad news, right? Drop the optimism, right? Don't let optimism fuel your goals. Optimism is a ruse. Optimism is it's this confidence that I want it. I want to do that great thing, and I believe I'm going to do it. So I'm going to do it. No, that's not enough. That's not enough, right? Because if you with optimism, all you ever be, you're trying to take shortcuts. You try and do things in a rush. Don't be that person. Now, Queen Leah said many things. If you listen carefully, she said, your goal for 2026 is not even just for 2026. What's the big goal? What's your life goal? What are you working towards? And if you're wondering what that is, again, she said it very well. What's your story? What's the story you're telling yourself? What are you telling yourself about what your life will be like? And then what do you need to do to bring that life into existence? Because it is that story that's going to drive you ultimately, right? And I don't know whether, of course, Queen Leah says, it's magic powers that make it happen. Maybe it is, right? Now, of course, we talk about manifestation. You hear this sort of law of attraction. What you think about is what you become. Yes, all those things matter, right? But you have to think about these things first, right? Your goal must be something that you really want to achieve, more than want to achieve. It is your life's mission. If you don't achieve it, your life will not be what you dream of it being. So that normally includes money. Of course it includes money, but your goal, you have to, the goal it's what you've been working towards all this time, right? For 2026, break it down into what you really will do that will move the needle. That's your task, right? Now break your goals down. Now, I want to publish 10,000 books. Of course I do. I said that's my goal, right? It's big, it's hairy, it's audacious. Is it possible? Of course it is. My friend Sean wants to serve 11 million people with his coaching service. I'm saying these are big goals, right? Make your goal big, something that's going to move your life, move the world. And then break that down. What does that mean for 2026? Does that mean you get your first 100 customers? Maybe it does. I'm saying, right, that's what a goal looks like, right? Don't suddenly wake up and just say, I want to do. No, that's not how it works. That's not going to work. It's just not, right? Maybe this is my way of saying to you, make sure the goals you set are aligned with you. They're important. They're important to you, and they're aligned with what you're good at, your unique skill, your unique quality. I see people who set goals every day and they don't do any of them because it's wishful thinking. It's optimism gone wrong. I can achieve this in a year. No, you can't achieve that in a year unless you put a lot of effort into it, right? So maybe that's number 3 for me. If you want to achieve this goal, be prepared to commit. Be prepared to remind yourself every day, like your worst and your best accountability partner. I write my goals down every day, Queen Leah, like you say, every day. I remind myself, these 10,000 books aren't going to write themselves. They're going to publish themselves, right? And so I remind myself by writing my journal every day. Of course, we know it brings your goal to mind. It tells the gods what you're working towards. I'm saying this is how we achieve goals, right? And so that moves you forward to say, if you don't do what you say you do, you almost can't breathe. You can't live. Too many of us do the I want to do, and then we don't really buy into it. When we don't do it, you're like, well, I didn't do it. No, that's not how it works. You have to be deeply troubled when you don't achieve your goal. When you don't do what you say you do for yourself, be troubled. And so look, again, so the last I'll say is this, my friends: if you want to achieve your goal, be extremely focused. Focus, and work as hard as long as it takes. Don't be saying I'm going to do it by January. It's not going to work. All goals stop by the end of January anyway, right? Don't make yours the same. I'll leave it there, Eric.
All right. Thank you so much. That was powerful. Oh my goodness. All right. So people are jumping on. A lot of people here today. Laverne, welcome. Coral from across the pond, welcome. Good to see you. Basil, good to see you. Eric Doby from Hartford, welcome. Oh my goodness, we have a lot of people on today. Let's see. Paula, good friend Paula Washington is here. Gladys is here. All right, folks, keep putting it in the chat. Let's see who's joining us. Make sure to put your questions. Again, put the word question and then type your question in there. All right, so today we're talking about a topic that everybody should be able to relate to this. So let me just tell you a little story. I was at the barber shop. This was a few years ago, and I'm getting a haircut. And I'm speaking with my barber, and I'm telling him about my goals, right? Because this was like around this time, right? So I said, what are your goals? And he said, I don't do those. I said, what do you mean? He said, yeah. He said, I realized that when I create goals and I don't accomplish them, then I'm embarrassed because I told some people, so I just decided not to do them anymore. And I said, okay. I said, but don't you think by creating these goals and sharing it with people, it would actually motivate you to do them? He said, nah, it doesn't work that way because I don't want to be embarrassed. I'm like, okay. And I realized that a lot of people think like that. So what I would challenge all of you to do is to challenge yourself, right? You can't stretch yourself if you don't create goals. Like you can't. Like I had a goal to write a book. I think it's right up here, right? The book right up there, Home Business Boom. And I've never written a book before, right? I had no clue how to do it, right? So I had a goal to write a book. I think it was by April. So I actually joined a group of people who are book writers to teach me how to write books, right? So I can be in that environment, right? I didn't know how to create the cover. I didn't know where to find the proofreader. I didn't know anything about it. How to put that barcode in the book, right? I didn't know anything. But guess what I did? I just took it step by step because I planned to do it. Because I set the goal, I just did everything I need to do. And guess what? I never released that book in April. I released it like 4 months later, 5 months later. Nobody knew. Nobody knew that, oh, Eric was late to release the book. They just saw that I released the book. And guess what? It became a bestseller on Amazon. Home Business Boom, right? But it was scary because I've never done it before, right? So one thing I would say is challenge yourself and set goals that are audacious, goals that scare you. If you're, let's say you're a business owner and you made $50,000 last year, don't set a goal to make 55. That's not stretching. Have a goal to at least double it, right? If your goal is to make 100 and you fall short and you make 75, hey, I mean that's 50% more, right? So make the goals challenging, so you can stretch yourself, because most of us never achieve all we can achieve in life because we never set the goal and we never work towards the goal. That's why we have more. You have more in you than you think. You have more in you than you think. Okay. All right. Number 2 is you want to be accountable to somebody, right? To always share your goals with people. If you don't, you'll give yourself excuses and not do it. Not do it. If you're the only one that knows about your goals, oh my goodness, you probably won't even accomplish it. Right? You'll give yourself an out. Whatever goals you have, you want somebody to know, at least one. For me, I'm a little crazy, so I let groups of people know. I just say it on calls like this. Right? I just say it on calls like this, right? When you do that, and not just business, even personal. So last year, I told my children in December, I said, you know what? Next year we're going to Jamaica. We're going to Jamaica for about 2 weeks. And they were all excited. They're looking at videos online and everything, right? Now I had to make it happen. I had to make it happen, right? And I made it happen. And we went there. We were in a beautiful resort for almost 2 weeks, right? The year before, I told them the same thing. I said, we're going to Mexico, right? We're going to Cabo San Lucas, right? So little things like that, I'm always sharing with people that it concerns. So they are looking forward to it. And now I have to do it. Right? So whether it's a business goal, it's a private goal, whatever it is, tell somebody so they can hold you to it. Look, you think about this. This call that we do every Monday, it's not easy to wake up this early. It's not easy for me to wake up at 6:30. Leah wakes up at 2:30 or something. It's not easy, but it's because we made it happen. We set the goal every day, every Monday. That's why we're here. If we didn't set it, we'll be sleeping and we won't be giving you all this information for free, right? So when you set goals for yourself and your family and others, you benefit a lot of people, okay? Another thing I want, number 3, so I have 4 points. Number 3 is make sure you set short-term goals. Write that down. Short-term goals. Let me tell you why I say that. A lot of people I see, they set long-term goals. They're like, Eric, this year I'm going to accomplish this, or in the next 5 years I'm going to accomplish that. The problem is when you set a 12-month goal, it's hard to track where you are. Before you know it, 12 months is here and you didn't achieve the goal, right? But when you set daily goals, your success is dramatically increased because every day you're moving forward. Every day, right? So I set daily goals. Right, so I set daily goals, I set weekly goals, I set monthly goals, and yearly goals, right? Because by doing that, by the end of the month, think about it. If you set 30 goals in a month and you only hit 15, look how far ahead you are, right? So you want to set daily goals. What am I going to do tomorrow? You don't just want to wake up and say, hey, whatever the wind blows, that's where I'm going. Wherever the wind blows, right? You want to set your sail, right? And you determine where you go, right? So that's important. Setting daily goals, weekly goals, monthly goals, short-term goals will get you to your long-term goal much faster than if you just have a one long-term goal. Okay? All right. And then lastly, I want to talk about discipline. When people think about the word discipline, it's like a negative connotation, like discipline, right? Here's the thing about it: if you're not disciplined in your goals, your business, and your life, the world will discipline you. The world will discipline you. Let me give you an example. If you are not disciplined to make enough money with your business, right, and you have a job you hate, your boss will continue to discipline you over and over and over and over because you never took your business seriously. If you're not disciplined to make enough money to pay your rent, your landlord will discipline you, right? If you're not disciplined to do the things you're supposed to do, like I said, the world will discipline you. A lot of people want to live a soft life, an easy life, and they end up living a very, very hard life because they're never disciplined. Discipline is the one thing that changed my life, right? Because I decided that I'm going to do things that other people are not willing to do to get what most people will never get, right? I was talking to a friend of mine last week, and he's a golfer, right? And I don't really golf. I live on a golf course, right? But I don't golf. And he's like, I can't believe you don't golf. We live right there, right? And I live by the beach. And he goes, you're so lucky. And I thought about that word. I'm like, no, I'm not. I designed this for myself. I'm not lucky. That's not luck, right? Yeah. You know how many? For over a year and a half, I used to drive by the area, just dreaming about living here, right? I would take the kids to sit by the beach and say, how would you like to live here, right? So because of that, I set goals that will make it happen, and it became true. It came to fruition. And this is, I'm not just talking monetary, right? It could be anything, whatever the goal is, right? If you are disciplined and you work hard towards it, you'll achieve it and you'll get there. And then people will say, oh yeah, he's just lucky. She's just lucky. Luck has nothing to do with it. You have more control over your life than you think you do. Write that down. You have more control over your life than you think you do. You may think that circumstances are happening for you right now, and that's why you're not making it. Well, let me tell you something. Everybody's going through what you're going through. I hate to break it to you. I hate to jump on. I hate to be part of the pity party, but hey, if you have a boss that you can't stand, guess what? A lot of people do have that. If you are not able to, if you're tired when you get back from work and it's hard for you to do your business, guess what? We all went through that. Right? If you have three kids and like, well, Eric, you don't understand, I have 3 kids, it's hard to build a business. Guess what? Some people have 4 kids, some people have 5 kids, and they still succeeded. Right? So you need discipline, you need to focus. Don't give yourself excuses. Say, this is the year, 2026 is the year I'm going to change my business, change my life, and I'm not going to let anything stop me. All right? So that's what I wanted to share with you today, folks. Thank you so much, Leah. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And now what we're going to do, before we get to the questions, because we're going to get to the questions very soon, for those of you that put questions in there, we're going to go around the room and talk and tell you what we do and how we can serve you, right? Service to many leads to greatness. We serve a lot of people, and we want to serve you, okay? So I'm going to start. Some of you know this and some of you don't. I am the CEO, founder of studiospeaking.com, right? Someone actually told me that I actually started an industry. I'm like, I never thought about it that way, right? So think about this. Have you ever gone to an event, maybe online, like a Tony Robbins event, where he comes into a studio and he's talking to the people, and there's a big Zoom of 6-foot Zoom of people all over the world watching, right? That's been going on since COVID, right? But do you know that if you call him and you say, hey, can I be one of those speakers? You know what he's going to say? No. It's only me and my friends, right? Eric Worre does the same thing. He does events like that. Guess what? him and his friends, right? But I'm the only one that actually said, you know what? I'm going to bring other speakers, coaches, and authors. Just contact me. If you qualify, you'll speak on my stage. So because of that, we're able to help a lot of people. And speaking of goals, when I came up with this idea and I told some people, you know what they said? Well, Eric, I don't know if people want to pay to speak on your stage because people usually like to get paid. I don't know if they're going to come all the way down to North Carolina. You know, maybe it was local to them. But I had all these people saying, oh, it can't work, it probably won't work. But guess what? I set a goal. I was disciplined. And then the first person said, yes, I'll do it. The second person said, yes, I'll do it. The third person said, yes, I'll do it. Now we've had over 60 people on that stage, right? Sylvia Crawley spoke on the stage. She got 3 clients. She got 2 speaking engagements. She sold over 300 books. And then she said, Eric, can I do it again? Is it possible for me to come on your stage again? I said, sure. She signed up. She did it again and got more clients. Right? Melvin Adams spoke on our stage. Within an hour, he got 2 speaking engagements. Within an hour, he was super excited, right? Kim spoke on our stage, Kim Cano, and she's speaking about a nonprofit. She's not even talking about for-profit company, right? Within 2 days, someone gave her a $10,000 grant for her nonprofit after speaking on our stage, right? So here's the thing. If people tell you your idea is crazy, that means you're on the right track. You're on the right track, right? Right. Well, and that's how we started an industry. And now we have another event coming up January 26th and 27th. We have more speakers than we've ever had before, ever. This is going to be, 2-day event. We used to do 1, right? It's growing, right? So if you don't even know what I'm talking about, go to studiospeaking.com, click on the link, watch the speakers, and we have like 25 testimonials now. When I started, there wasn't one, not one. Right, and you'll also see all the things we do for you, because it's not just speaking, right? It's the videos, it's the pictures, it's the mastermind. How would you like to be in a mastermind with 60 other high-level coaches and authors meeting every month, right? So that's just a little bit, but check it out. If you feel that you qualify to speak, click on the link, book a call, but you have to be an expert. Okay, don't get on the call with me and say, Eric, I can speak about anything. I could talk about writing books. I could talk about whatever. I could talk about physical fitness. Oh my goodness. I could talk about a little bit of insurance. I did that 17 years ago. I could talk. Then you don't qualify, right? Because you got to be an expert like Leah and Annie to speak on stages. All right. So now we're gonna go to my good friend Leah Garcia. She's helping so many people, like I said. And I want her to say exactly what she does and how she can help you. Go ahead, Leah.
Thank you so much, Eric. Yes, my name is Leah Garcia, and I am the Dynasty Builder. And I want you to think about it this way. In every family, we all go along until the one shows up, the one that changes our last name forever. So building your dynasty doesn't mean that you're going to amass a fortune. Maybe that's not your goal. Maybe your goal is to get totally out of debt. Maybe your goal is to be the first one in your family to actually build a family dynasty and start a family trust. Maybe you're the first one in your family to send your kids to college. I don't know what that means to you, but whatever your dynasty is, I promise you, every single one of you to a person can achieve that. You're a champion because you're here. So if you want to learn how to grow your money, you want to learn how to protect your money, you want to know how to spend your money wisely. There are a lot of things that a lot of people don't know because it's just something we don't know, right? There's always something that we don't know. So let's talk about it. I invite you to download my free ebook, The Wall of Wealth. Book a coffee chat like Miss Laverne did, working her spending plan on track. And you can too. We all start from where we are. So hand it back to you, Mr. Eric.
All right. Thank you so much. My goodness, folks. I told you, don't just listen to her. Do it. Do it. This is a good time to do it. It's the beginning of the new year, right? Right. So if you've been thinking about it, do it now, right? Download the ebook, meet with her. You'll be amazed at what you'll learn. I learned a lot from her. I learned a lot, right? So you want to do that. All right. My good friend, Annie Osong, what do you have to share with us?
What do I have to share? I've been enjoying myself. I see Dr. Paula is in the audience, and I say we just finished publishing her book, her latest book, the Encore Reset Journal. So that's what I do for a living, right? People come to me to build a legacy. You know, the lifelong story, the story about their achievements and their success and their greatness. You know, so I'm part of that because I'll help you to write your book, publish your book, sell your book, and guarantee to make any author a #1 Amazon bestseller with a 100% success rate, Eric. I keep saying that, right? You know, of course, with all of that, but impacting the world. I want my friends to impact the world in a big way. You know, so I'll bring them to the world through the events we do usually. You know, so and the love of my life are authors. I love authors, right? So you know, I've got a whole package of services that helps authors. One, become authors. And 2, become authors that sell loads of books and impact more people. You know, I've got workshops coming in 2026. Again, with Paula is one of them. I've got a conference in February for authors. I'm saying that this is what we do, right? I'd love to know what you do, especially if you're an author. You know, let's talk. You know, so I want to see how we can, you know, make you a legend, make you a superstar, make you famous. My profile link is in the comments, it's in the chat. So please do get in touch. Let's meet.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Annie. Appreciate that. I just thought about something, and you know, it's funny because I never thought about this before. All 3 of us are aligned in terms of how we help people, right? So Leah talked about how she helps people with their destiny, their dynasty, right? Their future, right? You know, their generations, right? To create wealth. Annie, you help people do the same thing, not financially, but in the marketing aspect, right? So they can have a book. Like, this book will be on Amazon for the rest of my life and beyond, right? You help people do that, right? One of my speakers last time, her name is Jane PK, and she talks about how she got out of the depression. Okay, you know, her father died at a young age. She got out of depression, and she was tell Eric, what you're doing for me is changing not just my life but generations, because the things my parents were not able to do, I'm able to do. You put me on a stage to talk to all these people. Again, that's generations, right? So we all help people, not just today, but for generations to come, and that's powerful, folks. That's powerful. You know, whatever you do, you want to help people at a high level, and that's what we're doing. So appreciate you too. All right. So Carl asked a question. She said, is there a goal that you have set for yourself that you are most proud of because you achieved it? That's good. Any one of you can jump in. A goal you set just for yourself that you're most proud of.
Well, I'm going to talk about the money. And it was in 2010 when the Affordable Care Act passed. I was at the top tier 4, and that was like 17%. And overnight, they told us the top tier went down to like 3%, 2%, something like that. I thought I was going to die. I had anxiety. I thought, what am I going to do? And then guess what? That very next month, that was the first time ever in my life I made over $10,000 in 1 month. It was because I flipped the script. I didn't understand. What we did was we sold health insurance and supplements. I made 28% on supplements, but I was thinking about the health insurance, and that part went down. So it's about our stinking thinking. We got to flip the script. That what you might see as a challenge just might be the opportunity that you need to take yourself to a level that you never imagined was possible. Amazing question, as always, Miss Coral from across the pond.
Look, you know, I could answer this in many different ways now, but I think let me go now with my daily goals and my daily activities. And I said, Laverne, you put it beautifully there, my friend. That every person that I work with, every book that I publish, every book that I market, every book that I make a bestseller, it's a mountain. Believe you me. You know, so, you know, for me, you know, it's part of my goal, right? So my goal is to publish 10,000 books. Every book counts towards that goal. You know, I know that I could easily be lazy. I published a book this morning, for another one of my author friends, and then, it takes doing. And every time I publish a book, I feel proud of myself. Every time I help a liver, and every time I work with Dr. Paula Washington, I'm because I know I've had to move myself. I think your goals. It's about discipline and choice, Eric, as you say. Like, you're not disciplined enough to keep on the right track. If you don't make the choice to do the right thing, time flies. And the next thing you say is, "Oh, I let myself down." So I don't let myself do that. So if I'm going to publish a book, I will move mountains, whatever it takes. Sometimes it takes sleepless nights. I'm saying that's what that every day I'm proud of myself because I've just been here. Just being here is an achievement for all of us, right? Give yourself that credit, my friends.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, next question. Oh, by the way, before I forget, I just thought about this. Don't let your past, right? If it's negative or you haven't achieved what you want, don't let that influence your future. Right? And don't let your past, your circumstances in your family influence your future. Right? People say, well, Eric, my dad was broke all his life, so I'm just following his footsteps. Why? It's like, Eric, I don't have any rich uncle to help me out. Well, you become the rich uncle, right? Like let's stop giving ourselves excuses because of past failures or family failures, or none of that matters. Today is the beginning of the rest of your life. All right, just want to throw that out there. That was good. Did someone write that down? Because I don't know what I just said, but I know it was good. I'm gonna tell my team to clip that. We need to put that up on social media. All right, okay, let's keep going. Okay, so next question is, do you have any goals that scare you because it demands more of you? Oh, that's a good question. That's a very good question. Any goals that scare you because it demands more of you? All right, this is a challenging question. I like a challenging question. All right, who would like to start?
Okay. The impressive buzzer. So, I told you my goal is to publish 10,000 books, right? Of course, that scares me. That scares the bejesus out of me, but it doesn't scare me. It excites me, Eric. It excites me. I know when I get there, my life will change. I set myself a goal to find other ways to bring my author friends to the world. So, of course, I do a lot of online events, but we're going towards hybrid and in-person events. That scares the hell out of me because they're just more exposed, right? And you must know the feeling, Eric. Having to sell tickets for people to actually come to make your event work. So again, if in a way goals go, I said I would do this first event in September, I think, in the summer. But things conspired against me. Circumstances happened. I just couldn't do it in September. So I put it up to November, up to December. Now it's going to be in February. So I didn't want to clash with your event in January, Eric, right? I'm saying this is a reality of goals. Now, so this is why I say, don't be optimistic and try and get it done tomorrow. Just focus on getting it done. As long as it takes whatever it takes. And as long as you get it done, you become the person who does. That's the story you want to really tell. You want to tell yourself, whenever I set a goal, I smash it. Not whenever I set a goal, I never do it. I always let myself down. Don't be that person, right?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question, Coral. And I'm kind of doing some of those now. One of my goals was to start a LinkedIn newsletter. I've been resisting it. I started that a couple of months ago, and that's challenging for me. I'm like, I got to write something every single week and publish it and do all of that. So what is the one thing that you need to do that makes you uncomfortable? That makes me very uncomfortable. And for me, I like to think of it in terms of systems. Like, what can I do daily that will help me to achieve something? One of them is I made a commitment now. I'm going to flip my morning routine a little bit, and I'm going to get up earlier. I used to think, this is funny. I used to think 7 o'clock in the morning was early. Okay, I know that. And here I am. So yeah, for me, it's going to be flipping which is going to be challenging because it's kind of hardwired, but that's okay. That's when I know it's going to flip my script. I'm going to get into the mix, right? Just like all of you. We're all in the process, by the way. None of us are done. We hear and we come here, we share this information with you. We're still in the process, right? The shovel's not on us yet. They haven't pat the shovels on us yet. So we're still growing just like all of you are. Hand it back to you, Eric.
Awesome. Thank you so much. This is a great question. What do you have any goals that scare you? Okay, so I'm going to tell you my goal, and I want everybody actually to put in the chat give us one of your goals. Put it in the chat. Be bold, put it in there, knowing that we will hold you accountable. Like, hey, didn't you say you want to write a book in 2026? Did you contact any yet? Right? Because we care, right? We want you to succeed, right? Put in one of your goals. So here's a goal I have, and it's demanding. It's very demanding. So as you know, I've been doing these studio events, and they're one-day events, right? With like 8 speakers. My goal now is for all my events to be at least 2 days with 15 speakers, right? Now, on its face, it doesn't seem like a big deal for it, right? But think about this. That's 15 people flying in from all over the country and Canada. That's picking them all up at the airport, right? That's taking them all to dinner, right? That's meeting with them to have we have a little red carpet event the day before. That's aside from actually introducing them on stage and giving them awards and everything, right? So it's a lot of work, a lot of moving parts, but it's a goal. It's a goal because I can help more people faster, right? So yeah. So if I do a one-day event, send me a message and say, Eric, I thought you said you're going to do 2 days. Okay, do that for me. Send me a message. I thought you said you were going to do 2 days. What happened, right? Because I can help more people faster. A lot of people are calling, and I don't want to have to push them off and say, yeah, we don't have any more spots. Speak in April. No, I want to be able to get as many people as possible to share their expertise and help them change their lives and change others. All right. So let's go to this question here. So I want everybody to share their goals, including my panelists here, right? You don't have to do it now, but before we're done, before the 15 minutes, let us know one of your goals, all right? Okay, so let's see. Cole asked another question. Okay, so here's a question. What goals have you set for yourself that depends on your future you being more disciplined? Okay, good. So a goal that you set that you as a person right now probably can't achieve it, but the person that you will become can achieve it. I like that. So who would like to share on that? And something similar. And something say, if you can't share exactly on that question, something similar, right? To help the people.
Right. Do I keep talking about publishing 10,000 books? There's a reason for that, because that is my obsession. That's the reason I live, right? And so, that requires me to become a different person. Today, of course, I publish books, right? So in 2026, I want to get towards the hundreds of books I publish in this year. So I published close number of tens last year, right? So I want to get close to the hundreds. And here's a simple point. To achieve my goal, I'm going to have a big team. I'm going to have a team of publishers who do the work, right? And to build that team, I haven't succeeded so far. Like you said, Eric, don't let my past guide determine my future. So I will have to learn to be a better manager, to be someone who creates the culture we need to be working together as a team to serve more people. That's going to be a big shift.
Yeah, I put it in the chat, is building my team to 50 plus agents. And that's definitely going to take more discipline for myself. And I always like to say, whatever your goal is, add a plus. So if your goal is to make 10,000, don't ever limit God in the universe. Put a plus, say 10,000 a month plus, right? Because you never know where that extra can come in. Hand it back to you, Eric.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And like I said, mine is to just double the number of people, double the number of days. It's not going to be easy. Even an online event is hard to do for 2 days. An online event where they're not flying in, right? That's not easy. But I've always I pride myself on stretching myself, doing something that scares me. Every month I do something that scares me. If you keep doing what you're doing, you're not moving forward. Okay, the money that you've made so far, you can't make more than that if you stay in your comfort zone, right? You can't make more than that. You're staying in the same place, right? So you have to stretch yourself, and a lot of times it's because we're scared that we won't accomplish it, right? Right? Like Annie, I'm sure Annie has heard people say, well, what if I do an event and nobody shows up? So then you do another one. What if I write a book and I don't get a lot of people to buy? Well, then the next time you either change the topic of your book, or you change your marketing, and then you do another one, right? So don't be afraid to fail, because failure is part of success. Do you know that I have never had a goal that I accomplished when I wanted to accomplish it and the way I wanted to accomplish it? It's never as good as I thought it would be, and never, because it's the first time, right? I remember my first event. I called all these people. I rented a room, $250. I told all the people about it, and nobody came. Now, what if I stopped? That meeting that I set up in Maryland in 2019, where nobody came, it has turned into Promote Your Business meetup group that's in 10 different states and Canada, and meets 3 times a week, every week since 5 years ago. Never. Coral comes to some of the meetings. That's the one on Thursday, and now I'm helping people all over the country, right? Because I just had that goal and I did it. And I know, and there's no marketing. Like I don't market it. People just come in every day, right? Why? Because I set it up, I didn't quit, and I believe that eventually it'll work out. If you're helping people, it's going to work out. Service to many leads to greatness. All right. So any goals in the chat? Oh, people are scared to put in their goals. Who? Who's not scared? Okay. Natalie said, I'll begin developing my 10-year plan. Okay, she put in her goals. Very good. What did you say?
I think Laverne has a goal there as well. 2026 goal: develop and build a sustainable, spirit-led coaching practice that consistently serves to transform women.
Awesome. Very good. Very good. Congratulations, Laverne. If anybody else sees a goal, let us know. In the meantime, welcome Alexis Skurloff James. She actually edited my book. Okay, my new book, she edited it, and I keep promising I'm going to release it. I will. I just have a lot going on, but she did a great job. So if you're writing a book and you need someone to edit it, or you just have questions about the book process, contact her. Okay, Natalie, welcome. We appreciate that. Let's see who else. I don't know if I welcome Laverne. Yeah, thank you all for coming. Appreciate you. All right. Oh, Eunice said, okay, yeah, thank you. Today is the beginning of the rest of your life. Yes, that's right. Welcome, Eunice. Good to see you. Cyrus is here, right? Yeah, so welcome. Good to see you. Let's see. Cyrus. Anybody else? Okay. If I missed you, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get everybody in here. Latasha is here. Gladys is here. Welcome. Okay. All right. So we're gonna close it out. With last words from our panelists. Last words you want to share with everybody.
There's a question from Laverne.
Oh, really?
I think it's interesting. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Can you?
Yeah. That's really what I will repost it so you can see it. There you go. Let's hope it works. Otherwise, I'll just read it out. All right. Is it on screen? Yeah.
Oh, okay. You know what? I'll put it on screen.
Okay, you see it.
Okay. Here it is, Laverne. All right. How important is reflection when setting new goals for the year, for the new year? Reflection. So I guess is it reflection on the past or the future? I'm not 100% sure what you meant. Maybe you to understand better, but you could go ahead and address that.
Okay, that's it. Look, I always say maybe this is at the heart of achieving our goals and setting our goals. I think all our talk and thoughts of mindfulness comes down to one simple thing: being brutally honest with ourselves. That is what's looking and reflecting on what we've done, what we've been, what we said we would do, that we didn't do. So that's ultimately what mindfulness really is, right? Like if we keep lying to ourselves, brush it under the carpet. It doesn't matter if I don't do that. It matters because it becomes you. It matters how you do that because again, you can either have a way of your way of doing things, or you can have a way of not doing things. Say a lot of me included, a lot of us lie to ourselves. To bluff our way. I think reflection is at the heart of this, right? Is the only one we can sit down and be honest with ourselves, and truly say who we are. Self-awareness is called, right? Only then can we really say, right, here's what I want to achieve, and say it with conviction, with meaning. So again, a lot of people they don't want to look back in that way. They want to have a glorious picture of, oh, I can be optimistic. No, you can't. Honestly, your history matters, right? Your path matters. The way your habits matter. The way you are matters. Reflection is the way you're going to look at all those things and say, right, what do I really want to achieve? And then hopefully, commit, be more than you've ever committed before. And then you might get there, right? You might get there. There's no guarantees, like you said, Eric.
Yeah, that is so good, Godfather. And I would kind of highlight something you shared earlier, and that is being in alignment. We got to be in alignment and integrity with ourselves. So reflection is part of that. Reflecting, but then being brutally honest with yourself. What could you have done better? If it's just reflecting just to think about it and then you're beating yourself up again, that doesn't serve anything. But if we reflect and we really determine what you could have done better to get the outcome that you wanted, and then put those systems in place. Maybe it's get up earlier. I just think so many people sleep in because me, I always say sleep is for the weak. It is. I don't have any millionaire or billionaire in my life that I know that sleeps in. Not one. They all are up before 6 a.m. and one of them gets up at 3 a.m. every single day. Now, I don't do this every day yet. Maybe it's in my future, but right now I'm working on doing it one day at a time. So hopefully that helps. Is a great question by Laverne.
Yes, it is. Thank you so much, Laverne, and thank you, Annie, for letting me see that. I think based on what you all said, I want to share this. We reflect also on what your values are, right? So as you become more successful, people will contact you with all kinds of opportunities. Right? People contact me all the time. One person said he wants to buy my business for $5 million. And I said, can we meet? I said, no, because I don't want to sell my business. Right? Like there's no need. He said, well, can we at least meet? I said, no, there's no need to meet. Right? Because, then what? So I have $5 million in the bank, then what? And I can't help people do what I want to help them do. No, it's not just about the money for me, right? So make sure your goals, what you're doing aligns with your goals, right? Make sure it aligns. One guy contacted me and said, hey, you have a great stage. Let's do a variety show. We have singers, we'll have jugglers, I'm like, no, I'm not looking to create a circus. I want experts. I want coaches. I want authors, right? Like people will come up with all kinds of things. How we can make a fortune. Sometimes you just have to do what you feel like doing. It's not all about the money, right? Money is good. Trust me, I love money, right? Actually, I don't. It's not the love of money is the root of all of it. I don't love money. I love what money can do. Let me say that. I love what money can do for people around me. Let me put it that way, right? So So yeah, so it's important to have those values. Make sure it aligns, what you're doing aligns with your values, right? I another a lady contacted me 2 years ago. I have this group called Promote Your Business Meetup. There, I think we have like 5,600 people now, and she said, "Hey, I have a great idea for you. Let's put all of them on a website, and they can all make money through my business." I'm like, "What do you mean?" They said, "Yeah, if they sell something, then you make money too." I'm like, "But what if they don't want to be in the business?" "Oh, they won't know. They're just gonna put them in." like, I'm like, no, 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 no. I'm not gonna do that. I'm like, integrity is actually important to me. Like, integrity is important to me, right? And like, so you got to make sure what you're doing aligns with your belief system, right? Belief system. So appreciate that. Okay, I don't think there are any more questions. Any more? Unless you guys see him, I don't see any more questions. So okay, so we're gonna end it here. Somebody said something. I just want to put it up there. This is incredible, Paula. I'm super excited. Okay, so okay, yeah. So Alexis said, my goal is to finish my personal goals and finish my personal professional writing goals. Very good, very good. That's great. That's a great goal. Okay, all right. So we have 3 minutes, so we're gonna end it here. I just want to yeah, thank you all for coming. Make sure you share this link with others, okay? Right? Just share. You in LinkedIn, I think they call it repost. Yeah, so repost this so more people can see it, because the information that we share today is powerful, right? And a lot of people are not on here. Maybe they don't wake up early, but we want them to hear it, right? So let's send it out so we can continue to build this platform. So one day we have 1,000 people on here every Monday morning. All right. So it has been a plum pleasing pleasure to be here with you today, and a privilege. And we look forward to seeing you next week as we get closer and closer to the new year. All right. Take care, everybody. Bye bye.
Bye, everyone. Happy Monday.
Bye, 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 bye.